If you can't pay cash, you can't afford it.
So I'll say something about this, right? Because my folks told me the same thing, right? We got to be careful telling people this, right? Because the thing about credit is that that's how every single big business in this country is built. It's built off of some sort of credit. Somebody gave somebody some money. Now, either they gave them that credit as, as a line of credit, or they gave it to them for a piece of, of ownership or something in that nature. But the only way to build something bigger than what we build as black people is to use credit.
Well, see, I look at it.
Credit is a tool, not credit, but you know what I mean, like
No,
something along that
leverage.
line.
What you're talking about is leverage, because
Yeah.
there's a difference, right? So there's consumer debt, and then there's debt that you use as leverage to do something in terms of business or ownership, right? So
It all comes from the same pool, but it's all about how it's used.
Yeah, because there's a difference. If I go, like, if I go get me some Air Force Ones with, the matching Coogee, that's different than me going to buy a rental property, right? If I'm putting the money to work. So that's the conversation that has to be had. You also don't want to scare folks away. It's almost like the rich dad, poor dad story, right?
Yeah.
You want to be afraid of it, but you have to be responsible with it. And that's the thing. It says, look at how China uses other data points to determine credit risk.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I think it's something over the, because,
they got social credit over there.
And I know a lot of folks call themselves like, credit experts or whatever. And I've been trying to figure the credit system out my entire life. And I don't think nobody really knows. I mean, you know a little bit, but those algos is crazy. So they said credit is a tool that needs to be used accordingly. Exactly. Unless you have all cash. Adrian says, I was always told that. My folks paid for a lot of things with cash. Credit was the devil. I mean, if you're talking about consumer items, there's nothing wrong with that. They should tell me, like, if you can't afford to buy it twice, you can't afford it. I said, okay, give me 4 of them. Let's see.
Right.
I didn't get a chance to really abuse credit, but I sure did become an addict to overdraft at the MGM casino and spent most of my 20s, 30s in check system. Sheesh. That's a whole different bag right there. The check system ain't no joke.
Yeah, man. They don't play.
Don, you're right. The difference in using it to build or create an asset versus a PS5. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think all of us were told that, though. Like, yo, you can't afford it if you got to use credit. But again, imagine if there was no credit. How many people would be homeowners?
Zero. Because they had to give us credit. Not, I ain't gonna say zero, but very few. But that's where it's going, right? Because you can see the banks and all of the big boys is getting into the home buyer game, right? And they're forcing people to be less and less into the home ownership side. And so that's the other side of it. They're running out the small landlords, and they're running out the younger generation from the opportunity to buy. Because once they're not defaulting. Once those big companies have them, unless those companies go belly up, they're not defaulting. So they're forcing people into like they're taking one of the biggest ways that people build wealth away from people.
Mm-hmm. So it says that I saw a video on African TikTok that they were basically a third world country with credit cards and iPhones.
They're not lying.
I gotta get tuned into African TikTok. I watch like finance TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Ratchet TikTok. I gotta see what's going on in African TikTok. TikTok is its own world.
I gotta see what's going on with TikTok because I don't have one.
Man, TikTok is an interesting thing because if you go on TikTok, it's probably the craziest social app there ever is. Like, you can sit there for hours and not even realize you're there for hours, just scrolling and scrolling. And I know they're sitting there mining our data. I really believe that TikTok's probably a tool of a different country to mine all our data. But that's either here or there. But it's still so entertaining. Like, and there's different TikToks. Like, you got real estate TikTok, stock market TikTok. You know what I'm saying? You got thought TikTok. There's all kinds of TikToks out there, bro. You ain't heard that from me though. Chris said, I only had one credit card at 21 and maxed it out, fixing up a box Chevy.
I ain't mad.
So everybody got their credit issues, man. How'd the box Chevy turn out though, Chris? I gotta know. Like,
yeah, right.
Was it fire? When you finished, was it worth it?
Yeah. I know you in Birmingham, Chris, with my folks, so I know that joint was kitted and fitted.
So Lance said, I had one credit card my entire life. I had a $500 limit. And I used it as a down payment for my first car. Listen, I ain't gonna tell you. I'm sitting on probably a good 20 credit cards right now. I don't use them. My funny thing is I use my debit cards more now because I'm stacking sats. But I even set that up strategically. Purchase undeveloped land and built on that. Okay. TikTok is definitely a rabbit hole. Like it definitely is. I've seen that one saying how Africa is broke. Their owners when Americans get everything on credit. Yo, shoot me that link, y'all.